Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to multiply a mixed number by a whole number. All right, so we're going to take our mixed number, or a whole number. Let's just take 8, for example. Let's take 8, and we're going to multiply it by a mixed number. So let's take 8, and we're going to multiply it by, we'll do it, when we multiply fractions, we usually don't do it up and down. So let's do it beside it. We're going to multiply 8, and we're going to multiply it by, let's say we want to do it by 3 1/4. All right? So the first thing, when you multiply by fractions, you know that you have to have all fractions. That's the first thing that I need to do. So I know I have a mixed number here, which is 3 1/4, and I have a whole number, which is 8. Well, every whole number is actually a fraction. We just don't normally see it as a fraction. So every whole number, whether it's 100, or whether it's 10, or whether it's 20, or whether it's 30, it doesn't matter. Every whole number is over 1, because 30 divided by 1 is 30. But we usually leave the ones off. We don't normally see whole numbers as fractions. But every whole number is a fraction. You just put it over 1. So when I want to take my whole number, and I want to make it a fraction, it's very easy. I just take the 8 and I put it over 1. That gives me a fraction, 8 ones. And it's a little easier to see when to multiply by fractions when I do that. Now my mixed number right here, I'm going to have to do something a little different. That's my mixed number right there. My mixed number, I need to multiply the denominator, which is right here, the denominator, and I need to multiply it by the numerator. Not the numerator. I need to multiply it by the whole number. All right? So I need to take 4 times 3, and that's 12. And then what I need to do is I need to add my numerator. Okay? My numerator. So I need to 4 times 3 plus 1. So 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. So I'm going to have 13 over my 4. All right, so it's 8 over 1 times 13 over 4. Now, the next thing that I need to do, now that I have all fractions, I can actually multiply it. If you multiply 8 times 13, that's going to be a big number. I can do it that way. 13 times 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 and 2. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 2 is 10. So I have 104 over 4. Now that is correct. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. But you're going to have, this is going to be pretty hard to simplify. That's a big number to simplify. What I can do instead is I can take 8. Let's just erase this because that's not the most efficient way to do it. Let's take and let's cross cancel first. All right. So I can take, I know that 1 is prime and I know that 13 is prime. But I know that 8 and 4 are both composite numbers. All right, they're both composite, which means they're not prime. I'm going to rewrite these as products of primes, so it's a little easier. If I take 8 and I break it down into primes, I'm going to have 2 and 4. 2 is prime. Then I'm going to have 4, and I can break it down into 2 and 2. Both those are prime. And then if I have 4, I know that I can break 4 down into 2 and 2, and 2's are prime. So I can rewrite 8 as a product of primes, and I can rewrite 4 as a product of primes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get rid of the 8 up here, and I'm going to rewrite it as 2 times 2 times 2. Then I'm going to take the 4 down here. I'm going to rewrite it as 2 times 2. So you see how I rewrote those as products of primes. Now it's very easy to see what these have in common. I can take this 2 right here. I can cross it off with this 2. Any numerator with any denominator. I can take this 2, and I can cross it off with this 2. Because I can do any numerator with any denominator. I can just get rid of those. And if there's nothing there, there's always a 1. So you can just put a 1 there. And then you can get rid of these. And I'm left with a 2 on top. Alright. So I'll just recenter that 2 so you can see it. I'm left with a 2 on top. And now, when I multiply out, erase those. Now when I multiply out, I just go 2 times 13. And that's going to be 26. And then 1 times 1 is 1. So that's very easy because I know that 26 over 1 equals 26. Remember, anything over 1 is itself. So 1 goes into 26 times. That's a little bit easier than taking 104 and breaking it down by 4. It's the same answer, but this is 26 over 1 is a little easier. So you should simplify before you multiply. Okay, that's the easy thing. So a couple things to remember when you multiply fractions by a whole number, a mixed number by a whole number, is you need to make everything fractions first. So you're going to take the 8 and you're just going to put the whole number over 1, and then you need to multiply your denominator by your numerator, so 4 times 3, and you're going to, you're going to multiply your denominator by your whole number, which is 4 times 3 is 12. You're going to add your numerator, which is 13, times 13 fourths. And then you're going to cross cancel if you can, and then multiply straight across. I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, please ask me. Thank you.